Yo, what is up guys? Today I wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on Path of Exile 2. I've never played a action RPG before. This is my first time playing any Path of Exile, never touched the Diablo, and I went in completely blind, so no guides, no lookups, and I wanted to see how complicated and how difficult it was to pick things up. As someone who's never played a PoE, I always thought this tree would be extremely complicated, but I found this to be relatively simple. I kind of got a better understanding by the time I was level 15 ish, and it just was making a lot of sense. And that's simply because the tree is just relatively simple to follow. I go up here, I get more damage, very simple. I get big damage here. If I want cast speed, I go to the right, or if I want to go up again, I just continue going up to get damage, or if I want this over here is all crit. Everything is nicely compounded into one section, so it's very easy to understand. This is more damage. I lose some cast speed, but it's all damage. I go over here, this is ailment damage, and then I can come up here and get more damage once again. And if I don't want damage, I can go some penetration here. I don't know the exact damage numbers on these. Or if I want, I can go get some life steal from this tree. Or if I want to come down here, I get some more mana regeneration or energy shield, which energy shield makes you more tanky. It's like a shield down here and all that good stuff. I found the tree actually to be not as complicated as I originally thought it would be. And I thought that was really nice to see, simply because everything felt like it was in a section that it was meant to be in. It wasn't this tree is mana, this tree is energy, this tree is crit, this tree is damage, this tree is spell effects. I found the tree very relatively nice and very easy to get into. It didn't feel overbearing or overcomplicated once you spent some time looking at where you wanted to go. I also love the fact that if I ever make a mistake, I can come over to this guy right here, the hooded one, and easily refund my passives. Now it does cost quite a bit of gold, like $1,000. It's pretty expensive. If I found it cheaper at lower levels. I don't know how the scaling works, but 1,000 gold out of my 72k is pretty pricey to me. Just this is not the easiest to make gold, but I did find the simplicity and the easiness or the availability of respecking to be hugely appreciated, allowing me, if I made a mistake, I can go back quickly, change it. Absolutely huge. I really like that. I like something I wish they did for your class that you can choose is I wish they gave you kind of like a test period, maybe where you can go like into a little arena and you can fight some stuff and test out your class, because this is, in my opinion, a big decision. Like, I don't know what demon form even is, and I'm just like, I just pray to the god that when I get it, it's fun or it's strong. I just wish I got a chance to kind of see what my class augmentation was going to look like before I select it. So I do wish they would add that to the game. Just give me like a couple minutes with each like variant of my class, and so I can get a better feel for what I want and what playstyle fits me better, rather than just reading this and like, oh, this might be cool, this might not be cool, I might pick the wrong class completely, which would absolutely suck. Now, something I don't understand about this game, and I don't know if it's just me, but why do I have a salvage bench all the way over here, right? If I want to salvage something, and then I have to run all the way back to this person to disenchant, and then I have to run all the way down to this guy to identify my items. It feels kind of like tedious in a way. Like, why can't this person just have all of them? Or maybe they're more closer together. Like, why are they so far apart? It just feels tedious running back and forth, especially because you get a lot of items, I feel like, very quickly in the game. So I'm always coming back here, and it's always like a running simulator running. Oh, I have to go down here. Okay, I'm done identifying. Okay, let's go up here. Okay. I can decon these. Oh, these ones have slots. Okay, let's run over here. Okay. Now that we've done that, we can run back. It feels kind of tedious when you do it all the time. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, in my opinion, if I didn't do it literally like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes of playing the game. It wouldn't feel as bad, but I'm always doing it, so it feels kind of terrible when you have to do it all the time. Another thing I wish is they would make my inventory bigger, or like give me like a backpack or something, man. I don't know if you get these later on in the game. I really hate not being able to expand my inventory. It just feels like I'm always coming back here. I'm always forced to either leave items behind, or do I come back? And it just feels like tedious, man. Like, why can't I work towards getting a backpack or crafting a backpack? Like, I feel like that would be fun and engaging progression, especially later on in the game. Like, I've spent over like 24 hours in the game. Why can't I like make a bigger inventory? Like, I feel like that should be in the game. I feel like having the same inventory the whole time is kind of annoying. Something else is how you get loot in the game is basically like you're going to the casino, right? And you're putting in your $5 bill and you're hoping you get lucky. Like, for example, I've been running these same gloves since like the first 2 hours of me playing the game, I've had the same gloves on. It feels really weird. Now, something I didn't know is actually you can use these things to apparently add new traits to the weapon. So if I want to use my wand here, I can come over here. I know which one it is. Maybe it's this one. It's not this one. Maybe it's this one. I can add a trait, and then if I want, I can add another trait like this. Really cool, but I didn't understand this at all actually until my friend told me this, because he also was playing, and I was like, what are these things for? Like, I'm like how do you consistently get better gear? And he said you can use these to upgrade. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But then like that's all random too. So I'm back at the slot machine, but now instead of putting in a $5 bill, I'm putting in $20 because now I'm using my own stuff to gamba in the game. It feels like really inconsistent. I kind of wish there was a little bit of a pity system. I like the RNG of like when you get a drop, it's like, oh my god, this can be amazing. Like when I got this helmet, bro, I fucking nutted in my pants. I've never seen whatever like this tier is above legendary. It's really cool. This was like, holy shit, man, I got this. Let's effing go. That was really fun for me and engaging. I like that. Like that element of the RNG is really cool. But what I don't enjoy is never getting something better, even like 20 hours after getting an item. Like I still haven't found gloves that are better than these, unless I would upgrade them. I'm sure if I upgrade them I could get something better, but I didn't know about the upgrade system until literally today. So that kind of sucks. But I really wish the drops were maybe more pity. If like you are running a level 2 thing, you have a higher chance to get some better gloves or something like that. Like that would be really cool to see kind of a pity system in the game. I also wish there was more legendary drops. I feel like it's so rare to find the legendaries as well, or whatever this thing is called. Whatever this thing is called, I wish there was more of these drops. I've only seen one of these in the game, and I've seen a few legendaries, like quite a few legendaries, but the problem is if they're not for my class, they're basically insta useless. So if I get like a hammer or a mace or a bow or a quiver or anything like that, or if I get like a strength chest or a dex chest, they're like, it's completely gone. Like it's useless for me, right? I'm not playing that type of build. For me, it really limits the amount of legendaries that you're actually getting, because when over half the legendary you're getting are basically useless because they don't fit your class in any which way, that really like limits the number. Maybe they could add some loot bias in there so you have a higher chance to get things that are more towards your stat allocation. I think that'd be really nice and kind of like, you know, minimize the gamba a bit. I don't know how grindy these games are supposed to be, man. Feels weird that I still have not gotten better gloves after like 20 hours of playing since I've gotten them. Like that is crazy to me. Was leveling up in this game actually feels pretty rewarding and pretty nice at the same time, because when you finally hit something like I get 15% what's a good one? I get this one right here, 30% spell damage. That's huge, bro. Like hitting that level up felt really good, and I really enjoy that. Some levels, you know, don't feel meaningful when you're going up the skill tree like this, but when you finally get to the big boy passive, it feels really good and rewarding, and I really enjoy that aspect of the game. And I think it's very fun getting those big power spikes, and you can feel like the 6% cast speed. You know, you can kind of feel that. You get the other 3, that's 9. You get the other 3, that's 12. Like you can feel like each part of the game you're getting stronger and stronger. Right now I'm trying to get this passive right here. I get 16% cast speed. If I do a critical hit, that sounds really fun to me. Absolutely spamming my abilities. That's something I really enjoy about the game. I also wanted to mention the animations in this game look absolutely really cool, dude. The combat feels nice, but the animations look absolutely phenomenal. Like I have my move right here where I send out my little ice things. If I put down this firewall and I send them through the firewall, they get like that little fire tracer behind them. Oh my god, dude, it looks so good. I think all the spells look really cool. They feel great to use. They don't feel like bad, like Thorn and Liberty combat. If you played that, you know, it feels clunky when you play TNL. But this game, I don't feel clunky. Everything feels smooth and nice to use. I never feel like the animations, man, absolutely delicious. So before we get into that type of stuff, I want to talk about the bosses, which I think is probably one of the most important things in the game, because I think bosses can usually give you those really hype moments, or can completely let you down. They just feel like a loot pinata. Overall, I think the effects and the overall art style of the bosses are really good and really well done, man. It's like Elden Ring level of quality here. It's super good. The arenas also always feel like they fit their bosses to the T, and then the music and the lines while they're talking to when you're fighting is just so epic, man. Like just listen to this. This shit was absolute fire, man. It's one of my favorite soundtracks in the entire game from the bosses so far.
Tortured under the moon, the pack suffered but endured.
Such a cool boss fight, man. The music while he's talking to you, absolute cinema, man. Really felt amazing. And I really did enjoy this. One of my favorite boss fights in the entire game right here. I thought this was really fun to do. But something that I felt like was a problem with the bosses is that they all felt really easy, in my opinion, like extremely easy. Like I would first time almost every boss, and then I would get to this one boss that would just start one-shotting me, and then it would take me several tries to beat him. I don't know if this is because I'm ranged, and I know range tends to make the game a lot easier than like a melee class, for example. I don't know if it's because I'm playing range and that's why the game feels so easy, or just the boss design in general is just very easy at the early game and maybe it gets harder later on. I haven't completed Act 3, but I'm over halfway, I believe, into Act 3, and there's only been a couple bosses that have been relatively difficult, and they all rely on one-shots, not from like running me dry on my flasks. So I think that is a bad part of the game. I think they should up the difficulty a bit in the earlier game, make the bosses more challenging. Also, I would like for them to reduce the one-shotting of bosses, you know, make them actually drain your flask. It makes you die more from running out of healing, not just, oh, I didn't see this move in time, bam, I'm dead, I have full flask up. I think that's not the most fun, and it can be frustrating at times, but otherwise I think the bosses are really well designed. The music peak, the arenas, the voice acting, you know, even like the lore behind the bosses are really cool. All this stuff is super good. I just wish they would make them a bit more difficult in the early game and less one-shotty in like the later stages. That can be pretty frustrating in my opinion. Next, I want to discuss the areas are actually a lot better than I thought, simply because they never felt like they were used too much. It felt like every time an area was getting like old or tiring, they would introduce something new, and the areas didn't feel like they were being recycled a lot to where it's just like reusable content. Like for example, the dungeons in Elden Ring were way overused, like same dungeons all the time. In PoE 2, it felt like they were switching up the environment enough to where it felt refreshing. There was a few times, however, that I felt like they were prolonging the overall environment and they kind of were using it a little bit. But for 90+% of the time, it felt like they were really good on changing it up and adding new things, new mob types. There was a lot of mob diversity, which I really liked. It was always cool when you got to a new zone, you see new mobs. They would have new interactions, all that good stuff. Felt really amazing seeing all that. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that. And the art style in this game looks absolutely phenomenal. I really love the way this game looks. It looks so good in my opinion. I will say there was like one super bad area. I'll see if I have a clip of it, but it was like absolute cancer. I hated this area so much. I died so many times here just because of the mobs, and the overall layout of the area was very frustrating to deal with. That's something I actually wanted to talk about, as well as the map layouts are sometimes very frustrating to deal with because they're so big sometimes, and you have to like run from point A to point B. But if you're on the left side of the map, then you have to run all the way over to the right side of the map, and then you're speed running through and trying to dodge all the mobs. You get stuck and you die, and you have to restart the whole race over. It's like very frustrating. I've actually rage quit one time because of that, just simply because of how annoying it is to cross the maps. These larger maps that are like very confusing. They have all like these dead ends. You don't know where you're going, and then you find the objective way over there, and there's like no way to speed yourself up. Like I don't know why they don't have like a mount or something to get me through these maps faster, especially when I've cleared them. Feels like I'm in a running simulator. Like my guy is drinking the mana pots, thinking they're water bottles because of how much he's running around. This was the map that I was talking about. Just look at it, man. Like what in tarnations is this? If I want to run back through the map, look at the path I have to take. It's absolutely stupid. And if I die, I have to go back to the checkpoint and make the run of shame. Like this is the map where I actually rage quit because I died here, and I just, fuck this, dude. I am done. This map is bullshit. I've been running around in here for like over an hour. Get me out. One of my favorite parts about the game was the trials that you had to endure to get your, basically kind of like your second class. You teleport over here to this waypoint, and you have to travel up the road here, grab some things out of your storage here, and you shove it right into the altar and it'll proc. And then you can put other things in there to make the trial easier if you are having trouble. And once you finally are ready, you click confirm and the trial will begin. Once you load in, you are given an honor bar. This now functions as your new health bar, and no longer does your health and energy shield really matter. Once your honor bar is completely defeated, you basically die. There are some ways to regain it back as you progress through levels. Some levels will give you more honor back or give you some water, which can allow you to buy things later on in the trials. And I found this to be a really fun and engaging part of the game, simply because usually you never care about taking damage. As long as you don't get one shot, you're generally fine. But here, getting hit once sucked because it was very hard to get that health bar back. And there was multiple different levels, and the levels are relatively different. One level you have to find levers and open doors. Another level you have to beat a boss. And another level you have debuffs, so enemies do more damage, or you are on a time limit or something like that. And I found that this really spiced up the game and made the game feel a lot more unique. And it was a good change of pace, because not only did it make the game difficult, but now you actually had to be consciously aware of taking damage. Before, taking damage never mattered too much. As long as you didn't get one shot, you usually were fine. But here, every tick of damage sucked, and you just did not want to take any, because it was relatively difficult to get that honor back. And I felt that was a refreshing new way to play the game, and I highly welcomed it. And with that, it would mean a lot to me if you hit that like button, subscribe. I would love to hear your opinions on what's your favorite part about Path Exile 2 and your least favorite part as well. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.